Hello, welcome to Redeeming Thunder. I'm here to give you a wonderful prophetic word regarding the Ordained Spouse series. This is chapter 13, and there is something that was spoken in my ear as I was falling asleep. I call it the sub days, when I hear Ruach HaKodesh speaking to me right as I'm falling asleep. Okay, so it's like usually one word or a quick sentence, and it's just so pivotal. It's like in my ear, like someone just whispered it in there. Okay, it almost feels audible within my body that I wake up instantly. And this is what was said. I like talking to you because I hope you don't just throw it away. And I'm like, this sounds interesting. And so I got in the secret place and I asked Yahuwah, what does this entail? What series is this? And so he confirms this for the Ordained Spouse series. Okay, so of course this is around 12:30 a.m. on 3/24/2025. Okay, so when I gather more insight, because I am gathering several prophetic words, not just the Ordained Spouse series. Okay, several different topics. So sometimes I write a bit of it down and then I go back into it days later. Okay, so more feedback, more downloads occurred on 4/9/2025. Okay, so the first one was 3/24/2025 on this specific chapter. And so it's furthermore insight regarding that phrase. I like talking to you because I hope you don't just throw it away. What does that entail? Now this is Yahuwah answering when I asked about what this all means for the Ordained Spouse series. Okay, so he is telling you, those who are waiting for the Ordained Spouse to enter their lives, or he has already entered your life and you've already been chatting. Okay, you've already been communicating. Now this is what Yahuwah says about that. Your future ordained spouse, tell them, said this to you. He wants you. He desires more and more of you. And he wants you to notice certain details, okay? Because some of you probably been doubting, is he really the one? Some of you have been doubting, is it in my own head, or am I noticing certain things that are going on? That's what you're probably saying to yourself. And he knows that. The Most High knows that you're saying that to yourself, because he knows you more than you know your own self, okay? And he wants you to recall certain details, okay? So he's going to be, right now, he's bringing in wanting you to recall these details. So he's going to ask you a question, okay? Yahuwah, did you see him glance at you at that location you were at? He wants you to recall a moment when you have discussed a certain topic and it almost brought tears to your eyes. And he says, when you were about to cry regarding that topic, that you decided not to talk about it because you almost started crying and you didn't want to cry in front of him. He says, he looked at you and he knew you weren't craving attention. He knew it was sincere and it was something that pulled his heartstrings. Because when you were going to feel like crying, it wasn't about what happened to yourself. It was about what happened to somebody else, that you were recalling something. And it hurt that individual so much, but it hurt you to see that individual in that turmoil, in that sorrow. Okay, so he's saying, when you ache for others' pain, someone else's sorrow, he saw that expression. And he immediately wanted to repair and assist and didn't want you to feel sad. So, in this sense, Yahuwah is trying to help you understand his personality. He is saying here, he's going to care about you when you're sad. He's going to care for you if you ever get sad, when you guys are finally together, okay? He's going to cradle you when you need him to hold you as a daughter of the Most High. So right now he's speaking to the daughters, okay? He wants you to reproach every evil, negative thought or bad memories of other past relationships where you did not feel that comfort. You did not feel that connection, that closeness, that shoulder to lean on. You did not have that. He doesn't want you to bring all of that baggage. He wants you to treat this individual that he has given you as they're not carrying on other people's neglectful attributes, okay? He says that he wants you to be present in the moment. Live in the moment. And how you do that is you rebuke those thoughts. And he's giving you an additional tip of how to rebuke those thoughts. Sosi Naka. When I began to pray to get a bit more insight, Ruach HaKodesh said, Sosi Naka. Sosi means a derivative from Shoshana, meaning joyful or bright or plane tree or palm tree. Naka means strike or smite. Okay? So he is saying you need to strike down those past experiences, okay? Negative experience that you've dealt with in your past. You need to smite them. And to strike and to slay the enemy's mental health attacks, okay? With joy. So purposely be in joy. Purposely find reasons to laugh. I mean, confuse the enemy. You're so busy living your life, enjoying your life, living in joy. He's going to be like, how are you? He's not going to know what to do. The enemy's going to be so confused. They're just going to leave you alone because, I mean, this is a big time walk of faith. Okay? You need to believe. You need to have faith before you see even more evidence. Okay? There's another confirming word of how the key to strike down the enemy at this time, because he's trying to steal your joy so that you can, it's so distracted and so and worry and anxiety of everything all coming together, and maybe you're not seeing the results at the level that you want to see. It could be that Yahuwah is disclosing information and you're like ahead of your time. Okay? So you're like living in the future and then you're having to backtrack and to figure out, okay, this is when this is happening now in this revolution of time. Okay? And that's okay that he disclosed it to you, certain details first. That's okay. But it's also, think of it this way. There is more that needs to be healed for you to embrace this new venture. Okay, so another confirmation of joy that this is the key in this hour is my son, my 5-year-old son, had a dream regarding him and his brother were laughing and were in so much joy that it was destroying a monster. Like the monster was literally crumbling and dissipated, because they can't live where there's light. So it was just confirming word, prophetic word. Yes, my sons do receive, my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old do receive prophetic word regarding in dreams or in visions, and sometimes even words in Hebrew in the past. But this is confirming that yes, and I had this revelation during the same time that he had this dream, and so it just all the more confirming that this is how you rebuke the enemy. Okay, hallelujah. All right, so I also wanted to give a verse, Esther 9:5. Thus the Jews struck all their enemies with the sword, killing and destroying, and they did what they pleased to those who hated them. Okay, so this is during the time of Purim, when the festival, okay? Haman is now hung, and he received the demise that he had for the Jews instead. And what occurred is there was a new decree written. Mordecai had the ring, the signet ring that could, the seal of the king, and he proclaimed that the Jews were able to fight back those that they still had availability due to that prior seal decree that Haman did prior to his death. Okay, so they were able to strike down and strike back. So that's what you're supposed to do in this hour. Now on 3/26/25, I received a vision, and this, I saw a couple, and a man and a woman was sitting on, it was getting dark. First of all, I noticed that it was getting dark outside. Okay, and both individuals were sitting on a bench side by side, and there was a palm trees and other tropical plants around the couple of individuals that were sitting on the bench. And this was unique because it was unusual to have those around, as in these individuals were like living in a state or a country that doesn't normally have those type of plants hanging around. Like it's not a tropical state. Okay, but yet when they were at the bench, and even though times were getting dark, they were surrounded by these, not forest plants, it was tropical plants with palm trees. Okay, and now when I researched what palm trees means, it means a significant symbol in the Jewish biblical traditions, often representing beauty, prosperity, victory, and righteousness. Psalms 92:12 describes the righteous flourishing like a palm tree. So it means victory and triumph. Palm branches were used as symbols of victory in ancient times and are still used in Jewish religious rituals. It also means fertility and prosperity. The date palm tree is a symbol of fertility and abundance in the promised land. So he's basically establishing the future ordained couple in a prosperous, fertile ground, okay, in the promised land. He's giving a visual how your lives are going to be together in victory and in righteousness, flourishing like the palm tree. Okay, in prosperity, and it's beautiful. Okay, oftentimes when you are pleasant, okay, you know, like Snow White and the animals were drawn to her. Do you remember that part? It's sort of the same scenario where the trees, the plants, the flowers, you know, when you are in righteousness and you are showing the light of Yahuwah, okay, they are very much also in unison with the presence of Yahuwah surrounding, because you give like an aura, even though you can't see it. Okay, and trees and flowers, they sing. I don't know if you knew that, but they do. And it is sort of like wherever you go and sit, wherever you go, I got the visualization that what's going to happen is there's going to be fertile ground. Okay, not only talking about the ground, it's going to be like your home is going to be flourishing with vegetation. Like, it's going to be healthy, green, prosperous, but it's also, the couple is going to be fertile. Okay, like there's going to be where Yahuwah even blesses the womb and the seed. Okay, so that's all I have for this word, and I'll see you on the next chapter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Shalom.